I am back. Shabbat Shalom. We are going to see if we can get through chapters 22 and 23 of the book of Matthew. And again, I am reading from the Newer Testament by Brad H. Young. Hear What They Heard, an English translation, which affirms the New Testament's authentic Hebrew heritage. Matthew chapter 22. Again, Yeshua spoke to them in parables, saying, "The kingdom of heaven may be compared to a king who prepared a wedding feast for his son. He sent out his servants to call those who had accepted the invitation to the wedding feast, but they were unwilling to come. Then he sent out other servants, saying, 'Tell those who have been invited, look, I have prepared my dinner. My oxen and my fattened livestock are butchered, and everything is ready. Come to the marriage feast.' They, however, paid no attention and went on their way, one to his own farm, another to his business. The rest seized his servants, mistreated them, and murdered them. The king became angry. He sent his troops, destroyed those murderers, and set their city on fire. Then he said to his servants, 'The wedding is ready, but those who were invited were not worthy. Go therefore to the main roads, and as many as you find, invite to the wedding feast.' Those servants went out into the streets and gathered together all they found, both evil and good. The wedding hall was filled with dinner guests. When the king came in to look over the dinner guests, he noticed a man there who was not wearing a wedding robe. So he said to him, 'Friend, how dare you come in here without a wedding robe?' The man kept quiet. Then the king ordered his servants, 'Bind him hand and foot. Throw him into the outer darkness. In that place there will be weeping and grinding of teeth. Many are called, but few are chosen.' Then the spiritual leaders went and planned together how they might entangle him in the course of his conversation. They sent their disciples to him along with the Herodians, saying, 'Rabbi, we know that you live by integrity and teach the way of God in truth. You show partiality to no one and refuse to give special reward for a person's status. Tell us then, what do you think? Is it really permissible, according to the Torah, to pay tribute money to Caesar or not?' But Yeshua, being aware of their wrong intent, asked, 'Why are you testing me, you pretenders? Show me the coin used for the tribute money.' They brought him a denarius coin. So he asked them, 'Whose image and likeness is inscribed upon this?' They answered him, 'Caesar's.' Then he told them, 'So give back to Caesar the things that belong to Caesar, but give to God the things that belong to God.' Upon hearing this, they were astonished. Leaving him, they went on their way. On the same day, some Sadducees of the priestly aristocracy, who teach that there is no resurrection, approached him and questioned, saying, 'Rabbi, Moshe taught, if a man dies having no children, his brother must marry his widow, Deuteronomy 25:5, and raise up children for his brother, Genesis 38:8. Now there were 7 brothers among us. The first married and died. Having no children, he left his wife to his brother. So also the second brother, and the third, all the way down to the 7th. Finally, after them, the woman died. In the resurrection, therefore, whose wife of the 7 will the woman be? By that time, they all had married her. But Yeshua answered and said unto them, You are being led astray, not understanding the scriptures nor the power of God. Because in the resurrection they neither marry nor are given in marriage, but are like angels in heaven. But regarding the resurrection of the dead, have you not read what was spoken to you by God, teaching, I am the God of Abraham, and the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. Exodus 3:6. He is not the God of the dead, but of those living. When the crowds heard this, they marveled at his teaching. But when the spiritual leaders heard that Yeshua had silenced the Sadducees, they gathered themselves together. One of them, a Torah theologian, put a question forward to learn from him. Rabbi, which is the great commandment in the Torah? He said to him, You must love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind. Deuteronomy 6:5. This is the all-encompassing and foremost commandment. The second is similar to it. You must love your neighbor as yourself. Leviticus 19:18. The entire complex of teachings contained in the Torah and the prophets are actually derived from their interconnection with these two commandments. Now, while the spiritual leaders were gathered together, Yeshua asked them a question. What do you think about the Anointed One? Whose son is he? They responded to him, The son of David. He asked them, Then why does David in the Spirit call him Lord, saying, The Lord said to my Lord, Sit at my right hand until I make your enemies a footstool for your feet. Psalm 110:1. If David calls him Lord, how is he his son? No one was able to give him an answer. From that day on, no one dared to ask him another question. Chapter 23. Then Yeshua taught the crowds and his disciples, saying, The scribes and the spiritual leaders sit upon the chair of Moshe as his authorized interpreters. Therefore, everything that they teach you, practice and observe, but do not follow their example in action, because they preach well, but they do not practice accordingly. They stuff heavy packs full, tie them together, and load them upon people's shoulders, but they themselves are unwilling to move them with so much as a finger to help lift the load. They do all their good works for show, so as to be noticed by others. They broaden wide their tefillin and lengthen the fringe on their prayer shawls. They love the place of honor at banquets, the distinguished seats for recognition in the Jewish learning centers, respectful greetings in the marketplaces, and being called rabbi by the people. But do not allow yourselves to be called rabbi, because there is one who is your teacher, and you are all brothers and sisters. Do not call any person on earth your father, because there is one who is your Father, the one who is in heaven. Do not be called instructors, because there is one who is your instructor, the Anointed One. But the greatest leader among you must act as your servant. Whoever exalts himself shall be humbled by God, and whoever humbles himself shall be exalted. Severe retribution looms over you, scribes and spiritual leaders, pretenders that you are. You close off the kingdom of heaven from people because you do not enter in yourselves, nor do you allow those who are going in to enter. Severe retribution looms over you, scribes and spiritual leaders, pretenders that you are. You take homes away from widows, but say long prayers to make yourselves look good. Even so, you will receive a more severe decree of judgment. Severe retribution looms over you, scribes and spiritual leaders, pretenders that you are. You travel all over both land and sea in order to make a single convert. But when that one becomes a proselyte, you make the new convert twice as much a child of hell as yourselves. Dang. Verse 16, severe retribution looms over you, you blind guides who say, whoever swears by the temple, the oath counts for nothing. But whoever swears by the gold of the temple is obligated by the oath. You foolish and blind leaders, what is more important, the gold or the temple that gives sacredness to the gold? Furthermore, whoever swears by the altar, the oath counts for nothing. But whoever swears by the offering on it is obligated by the oath. You blind leaders, what is more important, the offering or the altar that gives sacredness to the offering? Clearly, whoever swears by the altar swears by the altar and by everything upon it. Each one who swears by the temple swears both by the temple and by him who resides within it. Whoever swears by heaven swears by both the throne of God and by him who sits upon it. Severe retribution looms over you, you scribes and spiritual leaders, pretenders that you are. For you give a 10th share from your spices of mint, dill, and cumin, but have neglected the weightier provisions of the Torah, justice, mercy, and faithfulness. These are the things you should have practiced without neglecting the others. You blind guides, you strain out a gnat, but swallow a camel. Severe retribution looms over you, you scribes and spiritual leaders, pretenders that you are. You clean the outside of the cup and of the dish, but inside they are full of robbery and self-indulgence. You blind spiritual leader. First, clean the inside of the cup and of the dish, so that the outside of it may become clean as well. Severe retribution looms over you, you scribes and spiritual leaders, pretenders that you are. You are like whitewashed tombs, which on the outside appear beautiful, but inside they are full of dead people's bones and everything unclean. So it is the same with you. Outwardly appearing righteous before people, but inwardly you are full of pretense and rebellion against Torah. Severe retribution looms over you, you scribes and spiritual leaders, pretenders that you are. You build the tombs for the prophets, decorate the monuments for the righteous, and claim, if we had been alive in the days of our ancestors, we would not have joined with them in spilling the blood of the prophets. So you provide evidence against yourselves that you are children of those who murdered the prophets. Philip, then, the measure of guilt for the sins your ancestors committed. You snakes, you offspring of vipers, how will you escape being sentenced to hell? This is why I am sending you prophets, wise teachers, and scribes. Some of them you will kill and crucify. Some of them you will scourge in your meeting places and pursue from town to town, so that upon you may come the guilt for all the righteous blood spilled on earth, from the blood of innocent Havel to the blood of Zechariah, the son of Matityahu, whom you murdered between the temple and the altar. In truth, I tell you, all these things will come upon this generation. O Jerusalem, Jerusalem, the city that kills the prophets and stones those who are sent to her, how often I wanted to gather your children together, just as hen gathers her young chicks under her wings, but you would not have it. Take notice of this. God's presence has left your house desolate. I say to you also that you will see me nevermore until the time comes when you say, "Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord." Psalms 118:26. Bro, the name of Adonai. Oh, blessed be the name of the Lord. That was Matthew chapter 23, verses 1 through 37. Oh, Father. Your word is life everlasting. Your word is living. Oh, it testifies to the truth of who you are. You are the thrice holy creator of the universe, the lover of our souls. You love your human family, and you didn't have to do it. You didn't have to make a way for us to be reconciled to you, but you did. I believe you. I trust you. And I believe you limited your power to become incarnate. Thank you for the incarnation of Yeshua HaMashiach. That I have believed in this gift. I have received the gift. I receive the freedom, the liberty that comes with knowing my sins are forgiven. have guidelines of how to look more like you. I need your wisdom and your desire to serve humanity, including loving any enemies, and caring for the poor and oppressed, widow and the orphan. To not pursue so diligently the things of this world that I find my identity in them. My identity is found in you. Thank you that I am fearfully and wonderfully made. By loving and compassionate, holy, just, righteous, forgiving, faithful, dependable, merciful. Yah. Avinu Malkeinu. Blessed be your name. Amen. Yah willing and the creek don't rise, I will see you again next Shabbat. Shabbat Shalom.